Welcome to the Joe Cohen Show. Join me as I share my experience with biohacking and invite top health experts to explore the latest technology, supplements, research, and resources for optimizing your body and brain. Hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking about Rhamnosus. So this is an interesting probiotic that I've been trying, and I'm going to be talking about individual supplements as well. And Rhamnosus is just one I was taking today. I usually do a different megadosing experiment every day. And today and yesterday, I've been doing Rhamnosus. Rhamnosus has a bunch of different kinds of species. I'm taking the GG one now. I've taken about 20 capsules of this today. So each one has 15 billion species. They tell you to take one, but for my megadosing experiments, I usually take a lot more. And in this case, I've taken 20 already. And now I'm going to take 25. At 5, I swallow 10 pills in one shot, so it's not a big deal. But anyway, let's go through some of the benefits. I want to take people through how do I look at a supplement. When I'm interested in a supplement, what are the steps that I go to do the research on that supplement? Okay. One is I look at SelfDecode, and I'm going to go through that at first. So I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so here is SelfDecode. This is one of the ways that I do research when I'm doing a supplement. And in this case, so you could either search for a supplement, and you could see that I searched for Rhamnosus. It gives you the order of this recommendation for your overall health. Now, if we just sort it by supplements, then it's going to be lower. The number that it gives you is going to be overall, but you could see that this number, it includes everything. So if we go down to 49, if we scroll down to 49, you're going to see Rhamnosus. Lactobacillus rhamnosus, you could click on this to get more information, or you could scroll down. Here, I'll show you. We'll click on this it'll go on a new page. But essentially, if I want to look up a supplement, I'll look up Rhamnosus, and I'll show you why it's interesting to look up a supplement this way. You could look up Rhamnosus in general, but we also have Rhamnosus GG. This is one of the most studied ones, and I'll look at both of those sometimes. But I just want to show you. So here I put in symptoms and conditions that I've had in the past, my goals. It looks at my DNA risks, my lab risks, my lifestyle risks. We'll go through each one. So if I want to see how Rhamnosus helps me, it's what are the things that are related to me that it's going to help with. First of all, it says this recommendation works better for your general health than the average user. So that's an interesting thing to know. In this case, it has notes because it's connected to my practitioner account. And you could see these are notes that I've put for clients that I have. And it says, I generally recommend taking this in a general probiotic formula. That's true. Although when I'm doing the experiments, I take it alone. There's some formulas that have this species in there. It should be taken 2 times a day in the morning and the evening. I recommend the species Rhamnosus GG. And by the way, this might change whether I take it in a general formula, depending on the results of my megadosing experiment. So I've already done a few of them. They weren't conclusive. That's why I'm doing more megadosing experiments. The type of probiotic matters. Rhamnosus GG, which is a specific substrain of Rhamnosus, is not going to have the same exact effects as a Rhamnosus that has a different strain to it. It could be taken in the morning or evening on an empty stomach or with food. Do not buy probiotics from Amazon in the summer months. This is something I want to do more research on, but I'm assuming that they don't put the temperatures exactly what is needed for probiotics. Buy links for general probiotics. So then I have the ones that I recommend. You could see here, which one do I recommend? This one has the Rhamnosus in there. This is why and again, these instructions are more for general people. This one doesn't have the instructions in there, but let's go to the iHerb one because the ingredients you'll see. So if we look at this, you could see that it has Rhamnosus, Lactobacillus rhamnosus GG, as the second ingredient. Now, this whole thing has 12.5 billion CFU, but it doesn't tell you exactly how much Rhamnosus GG it has. That's why As a general rule, I don't mind if people take this as part of a complex, but if for me personally, I'm probably going to take this alone. And I probably should change my notes here as well. I should probably just add that for certain goals, I recommend taking this alone. I personally take the probiotic linked above twice a day. So that's just a general overview of L-rhamnosus, what I'm doing. But you could see what are the symptoms and conditions that L-rhamnosus helps me. It helps me with bloating, flatulence, gut inflammation, and low mood. Now, this is not something I've experienced in terms of, I haven't noticed that L-rhamnosus helped me with these yet. In my megadosing experiments, the results has been mixed. So I cannot say that I've noticed very clear effects in any of these except for mood. I have noticed that it improved mood, interesting enough. Immunity and mood are goals. I don't know about immunity. It could have helped. It could not. It's hard to say. So I can't say that specifically. But the reason why I like using SelfDecode as part of my research is because it shows me what the things that I pick that I'm interested in or that are relevant for me. It shows me how it relates. So here's the things that are most important for me. Now, here's also DNA risks. So I have a higher DNA risk for flu, for cognitive decline, low mood. And by the way, I would say that these are all true as far as I can tell, meaning I get the flu more frequently or more severely than most people, or at least I did in the past, not so much anymore. Cognitive decline, I've spoken about brain issues, cognitive issues, and then mood has always been something that has been important for me. I've had yeast infections in the past, and let's see, I would say some fungal infections more broadly, like tinea versicolor, and gastrointestinal infections, probably. UTIs I've not had, but that's common in my family, so I could see why there's genetic risk. Bloating, definitely. IBS for sure. Diarrhea, not really, unless I eat something bad. Flatulence for sure, and alcohol sensitivity for sure. You can see that not 100% of these DNA risks are going to apply to me. For something like UTI is definitely genetic because a lot of family members have it, but I've never actually experienced this on my own, I don't think. But the other ones I would say are definitely things I could relate to. So these are DNA risks. Not all of them that I put here. I put some of them like bloating, flatulence, but these are things that are relevant to me. Now there's other benefits. These are all the things that L-rhamnosus helps with. So it helps with all these DNA risks that I have. And if you want to see how, you can see. So I'm actually curious, how does this help with a flu? There's an impact of 2, evidence of 2. Rhamnosus, what is this? 10 billion per day. So I've taken a lot, like one pill I was taking 15 billion per day, but I took 25 pills. So I took way more. What is 15 times 25 is 375. So I took 375 billion today, and I've done that a different day as well. May reduce the number of days with respiratory symptoms in children with flu. So 10 billion to 100 billion. Both alone or combined with bee animals may boost the immune system after getting the flu shot. A combined probiotic mix with L-rhamnosus may reduce the incidence and severity of flu and other respiratory diseases. So it seems to be interesting for the flu. And you could go through each of these things. Cognitive decline, I'm curious, how does it help with this? Supplementation may boost cognition in older people with mild cognitive impairment. It may reverse changes in gut flora linked to this condition. I actually did notice improvements in cognition. I noticed I was sharper, more cognitive energy, if you will. Mood, let's see how this affects mood. It aids in producing serotonin. So these are patients with a heart attack. And it found that when they took this for 12 weeks, compared to the placebo group, the probiotic group experienced a significant decrease in depressive symptoms. I'm not too surprised. I did notice that it improved my mood as well. So I was particularly jumpy today and in a very, I would say, upbeat mood. The study was 12-week intervention with coronary artery disease. So this is another study, also 44 patients, interesting, the same amount of patients, and also for 12 weeks. So it found that, so they did a calorie-restricted diet, serum levels of interleukin-1 beta, TLR4. So these are inflammatory kind of markers that were assessed before and after. And it found that it was a significant decrease in interleukin-1 beta and LPS levels were observed in the probiotic supplementation compared to the placebo. So that's explaining a mechanism by how it could affect mood. I have not noticed that it. One time I noticed that it improved bloating, and one time I noticed that I didn't notice a difference. Alcohol sensitivity. This is something I haven't tried, but it would be an interesting experiment. As you could see, I could see everything that it's related to me. Now, I'm going to go to some labs here. It improves fasting glucose. This is something I've been wanting to improve, and I have a feeling that it's improved a lot with a lot of the probiotics that I'm taking. TMAO, this is a metabolite in the gut from choline and carnitine, and I've taken a few test results that showed it was high. So it's something Rhamnosus GG particularly can lower this. Is a probiotic that can help break down choline in your gut before it gets converted to TMAO by liver enzymes. This may lead to a decrease in your TMAO levels. And then it decreases hsCRP. This is usually not high. It just happened to be the last time I took it. And it also improves hemoglobin A1C. It says it may prevent an increase in HbA1c levels, which is a measure of blood glucose in middle-aged people. And let's look at hay fever. This is not something I experienced, but I have a high lifestyle risk because of family. My mom has hay fever. So so this is showing me all the things related to me, how Lactobacillus rhamnosus helps me. If we go to the page itself, you see we could click on each individual, like each combination of it that was studied. My notes, typical starting dosage is 12 billion CFU, 1 time per day, 3 months. Side effects, gastrointestinal discomfort, common. Infections, uncommon. It can cause infections, particularly in people with weakened immune systems. Antibiotics can kill or inhibit the growth of Lactobacillus rhamnosus, reducing its effectiveness. Okay, that makes sense. Consuming alcohol in large quantities can negatively affect the gut microbiome and potentially counteract the benefits of Lactobacillus rhamnosus, but moderate consumption may not have a significant impact. Traditional uses, so people traditionally use it to support digestive health, boost immune function, alleviate symptoms of lactose intolerance, reduce diarrhea, improve gut flora balance. This all makes sense. So this, based on my research, is all stuff that makes sense. Now what I'm going to do is go with things that I'm not at risk for, but that it could help with. It also helps with respiratory infections, asthma, Crohn's disease, anxiety. I could see the anxiety part, pneumonia. So one of the things it does is it lowers glutamate, which is interesting. And so the glutamate leads to anxiety, pneumonia, alcohol addiction, type 2 diabetes. It's involved in various autoimmune conditions. I have this HLA-C variant, and associated inflammation may impair blood glucose control. So my genotype has been correlated with higher blood sugar levels. Probiotics may improve different inflammatory conditions, partly due to their ability to inhibit HLA proteins. So I have a specific gene variant in which this can help. So it helps with milk allergies. By the way, allergies in general, I could see this. Probiotics has been one of the things that reduced my allergies. I would say I used to be allergic to, like I had a sensitivity to almost everything, where I could only eat meat and chicken, and now I could pretty much eat everything. I don't think I'm allergic to anything at this stage. Not in any significant way. If I am, I get over it right away. I went from being allergic to everything to nothing. So I could, and probiotics was one of the things that helped. Let's see, let's dig a little more into this. Children with allergic rhinitis to grass pollen, they supplemented with Rhamnosus as an add-on to sublingual immune therapy. So they took a sublingual immune therapy. I've always talked about this. People with allergies, they should do these immune therapies with other things together, and I think it would have way better effect. It reduced body weight, fat mass, and weight circumference. Now, this is impact of it's 2 placebo-controlled trials, 175 overweight and obese participants. Now, evidence to impact 2. It's really interesting because people see that I have a 6-pack, and I don't go to the gym much, like max once a week. I'd say in the past few months, it's been once every 2 weeks. And people are like, how are you so thin and whatever? And the answer is that I try to do certain healthy things, but a lot of these supplements, including L-rhamnosus and a whole bunch of other ones, they help weight loss just a little bit. And if you combine a whole bunch of them together, they have a combined effect that's quite powerful. Let's see, hangover. A placebo-controlled trial of 20 volunteers consuming milk fermented with L-rhamnosus GG before drinking 5 glasses of beer reduced blood and salivary acetaldehyde, as well as the duration of flushing. This is very interesting. You can see that it helps with hangover also, and immune function. I assume it's going to, strengthens the gut barrier, increasing levels of good bacteria, preventing the growth and spread of bad bacteria, enhancing the immune response. It reduces the number of days with respiratory symptoms in children with the flu. It boosts the immune system after getting a flu shot. It could reduce the incidence and severity of flu and other respiratory diseases. It helps reduce gastrointestinal infection risk, duration, and severity. And it boosted cellular immunity. So over 9 weeks, participants showed a 15 to 90% increase in phagocytic activity and 71 to 140% rise in NK cell tumor killing activity. These results suggest that L-rhamnosus is a potential dietary supplement to enhance natural immunity. Okay. So there you have it. Now you understand why I like to look at SelfDecode as one of the first things that I do. I like to see how it relates to me. And I basically just look at, okay, here's the symptoms, conditions, goals, DNA risks, lab risks, and lifestyle risks. And I could see how everything's related to me. I will click on certain things and see the things that are particularly of interest. Now, the next step that I do, I write notes on a topic. L-rhamnosus. Basically what I do is, in this case, I put in all the different kinds that are out there. GG, like the different strains. HN001, R0011. These are the ones that I've come across. LR32. And I'll compare all of these. And it shows me, like, okay, origin. GG is isolated from the human gut. This is isolated from dairy products. This is derived from dairy sources, derived from human and dietary origins. GG is one that's native to the human gut. Gut health, extensively studied for diarrhea management. You could see each one has different focus, and the GG it's more studied for diarrhea, and it's more studied for immune function, reduces respiratory infections, stimulate the immune system. Rhamnosus HN001, it also same thing, broad spectrum. So sometimes you'll have different effects with these things. It seems like overall there's not really much of a difference, although GG does have the most studies, and I would recommend GG. Here I put all the different brands that have this in there. And so there's a bunch of different brands that have it. Prebiotics for GG, FOS, GOS, pectin-derived oligosaccharides. So I want to make sure that I'm also getting some of these prebiotics, which I take FOS and GOS. Prebiotics for HN001. And here I just put in some of my own notes, like gut, intestinal barrier, increases mucin production, increases serum tryptophan, increases butyrate, immunity, respiratory infections, antimicrobial, antifungal. These are things that are interesting to me. Cardiovascular, TMAO, GG is the most efficient strain. So I've read that there's studies showing that GG is the most efficient strain is related to probiotic strain specificity. So the specific probiotic strain makes a difference. And if we look at, for example, GG, this review can conclude that L. rhamnosus GG was the most efficient strain in reducing the plasma TMAO levels in both humans and animals. In addition, it is worth mentioning that promising character of L-Premtarum ZDY04 and some other species, but to be honest, this one is the most commercially available, this L. rhamnosus GG. Because I have higher levels of TMAO, and I assume it's because I consume carnitine, choline, and a bunch of animal foods, I need to make sure that I'm taking this to bring it down. So I'm going to retest with megadoses of this probiotic. Prevents cadmium absorption. I once did this tissue analysis that showed I had higher cadmium, so that's why this is interesting. Produces lactic acid and hydrogen peroxide, which lowers pH and inhibits pathogens. So I actually felt that my stomach got more acidic. I thought it could have been through lactic acid and hydrogen peroxide rather than just, I noticed it increased my stomach acidity actually. Produces bacteriocins like rhamnosin A and rhamnosin B. So it directly produces these antimicrobial peptides, increases TREGs, which improves tolerance. It increases GABA. It actually lowers glutamate as well. Gut microbiota analysis showed higher abundance of a couple species, but this one is the most interesting for me, the Clostridium xiva, because this one is important. If we look into it, it's actually important for like creating tolerance and a whole bunch of good stuff in the gut. Okay, subjective. So this was today, so I just took another 5. Took 5 times 5, 25 capsules, 15 billion each. Noticed more gas, worse smelling. Today I did get gas. It did lower glutamate, calmer, more stomach acidity, improved cognition, cognitive energy. Now, the other time I took this, I took 24 capsules, 25 billion each. I did not notice gas. Normally, because I take 200 supplements a day, it's very easy for me to get gas because a lot of them do cause gas. For example, some fibers, a lot of supplements for me cause gas. And if I don't do anything for it, I'll just have some gas in the day. Now, so normally if I take something and I notice I don't have any gas in the day, that means that that thing is working. So no noticeable effect. I also took a Swanson one. So here's my notes about different brands that I took. The Swanson one I wasn't very impressed with, to be honest. And that's not the GG one. It's not the Rhamnosus GG. So I got the best effect from Rhamnosus GG, and that's why I recommend it. This is my notes, and so that's my general way of looking at if I like something. I go through SelfDecode. I'll do some custom research. I'll write down notes, and then I will look through those notes and also write down my own notes from my megadosing experiments. So if you like this, please subscribe and let me know if you want more like this. I can go through a whole bunch of supplements. I'm doing new megadosing experiments every day. I don't have that much time to talk about them, but I'm going to try to talk about them more and go through the research of why I'm taking each supplement. And the reason is because a lot of people say, oh, supplements are worthless. I just showed you how just one supplement has so many clinical trials behind it. Maybe a lot of them are small, but there's so many clinical trials and you could take it yourself and see big changes. So it's something that supplements are very interesting for me. I hope you like this, and till next time, ciao. 67% of listeners aren't subscribed to the show, so please don't forget to show your support by hitting the subscribe button now. You'll not only be supporting the show, but also investing in yourself and your health journey, all while helping to keep us ad-free.